Good afternoon, Adonis here. It's been some time since I recorded my last video. Just nothing much has happened since my last video. My Apple order for my Mac is still set on Thursday, so probably gonna wait till that arrives before I go to the gym. And it says per FedEx supposed to arrive at sometime in the morning, so I'll just keep an eye out for that. But the main reason I was wanting to make this video was Uh, I guess the first time for everything, right? So on Facebook Marketplace, I had for sale like some old gym equipment that I bought last year and just never used. And I was trying to sell my old Apple Watch, right? Well, the thing is, I had posted it about a month ago, and it had gotten a lot of views, and I gotten messages over the course of time, but recently kind of like went silent. So I was like, huh, let me. I looked into it and said, yeah, it's good to like repost or relist it, just so in terms of visibility, it's out there more. So that's what I did. I reposted my gym equipment and the Apple Watch, right? But when I woke up this morning, Facebook flagged it for like something about counterfeiting, something along the lines like that. I'm like, what? The only thing I really changed was just the title. Like I just edit some stuff on that, and then the description. Photos were all the same, so I was like, okay. I'm not too sure what exactly flagged it, so I'm gonna have to. I already deleted it, but when I get home, probably before I upload this video, I'm going to have to go in, relist it, probably change the format, whatnot for it. It was just weird. Like, what do you mean? Because I tried to what's the word? Like, I tried to there was some sort of like option to like have them review it, to not take it down, to not post it, right? And they reply back, or I guess the system automatically messaged back like I guess a few hours later, no. I'm like, what? Okay, like okay, so weird, but I guess the algorithm they have, where I guess it must be like the title or the description, probably the title. It just flags it. I don't know, so I'm gonna have to, like I said, redo it. Oh well, it is what it is. But no, not too much has happened since then. I mean, hey, that's not something bad to say, but uh, just still waiting. The only thing I did check I don't know for what reason the Pros 3 they're supposed to come like the following week. For the word, I don't know why they weren't just shipped the same time. I I hope maybe that's an error or scheduling error. I'm not too sure. Because like, why would you send over the main package and then have the smaller product come later on? That doesn't make sense. But we'll see. It just luckily I'm here. I'm off Thursday, so. Oh, talking about days off. So the first time in a very long time, yes, I went to go get the mail, and there was a postcard for me, right? Can you guess what it may have been for? Jury duty. I have only gotten that postcard once, one time prior. It was when I was in college, and if you're in college or in school, there's some sort of like exception for it, which I was able to do. Right? Well, I'm not in school right now or anymore. So I'm like, okay. So it's what October 27th on a Monday, 8:30. So I'm like, okay. Well, I put in a request like, yeah, jury duty, so have me schedule off this day. Which I mean, for me, because it's at 8:30, yeah. Because there's a chance that they might just send me home, like, oh yeah, we don't need you, or yeah, like come on in. What? I don't know. I mean, I've never done jury duty before, so I just like I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting experience, I must say. But at least I'll be off Monday, so uh, there's that. But yeah, interesting set of events there. So, but jury duty is like, why you need me to be there? Like, I'm sure everyone else you invite are gonna be sufficient enough, but I'm sure they probably think the same thing when they get that notice in the mail. But, oh well, I guess something new to experience with jury duty. What? Oh, so one thing for today, I had my district manager and a DTL come to the office. I guess because the site was wasn't making the statistics for the site wasn't best. Like the performance numbers wasn't the greatest in the district, right? It wasn't the lowest, but it wasn't the greatest. Um, so that it was more a little bit of coaching and just kind of some feedback. Um, like it's not on me personally because the thing is this site since like August it hadn't had a store manager. So because of that, there's been just a bunch of rotations of different employees, newer employees, and because of that, it obviously the numbers show it suffered, right, the site, but it's a rolling 3 month period. So whatever I do this month, I have to wait 2 more months to offset the previous month. So it's not like a fast change, right? And so here's the thing: we were talking and everything. Got some feedback, got some nice information. I always appreciate that. Um, but one thing, based from the conversation, that's always important, not just in work but in life, is repetition is very key. You can only get better by repeating, right? And it's true, right? Wherever like hobbies or activities or just your job, you're as good as you are because of the years of constantly doing same or similar activities, right? That's the experience that comes with doing the same similar tasks year after year after year. And it makes sense. It's just like for the district, my district that I'm in, as long as everyone follows that course of constantly having a plan of doing certain tasks, certain activities or things on repeat consistently for the next course of weeks and months, I mean the numbers will show because not everyone's perfect, right? Everyone's had years of experience, but there's certain things that if you were to quiz them on, I mean I'm included, right? They're just gonna look at you they're gonna look at you like deer. What's the saying? They're gonna look at you like deer on headlights. Because our last company meeting or district meeting, I should say, there was a question asked, "What's our sales process? Tell me the 8 steps of our sales process." Which that with those 8 steps you should be going through every time you do a rental. And considering if you've been with the company for multiple years, those steps are pretty much almost the same. Nothing. There's been very slight changes, if any. And when that question is asked, and it's just a room full of employees, crickets. Not a good sign. Not a good sign. Obviously, looking at the numbers and everything, we clearly get the rentals. Like that's not an issue. But if we knew what the steps were actually were versus just going off what we think they were or just doing our own way, could we potentially get better numbers? Yes, potentially, right? And that's what my district manager was telling me is like, if everyone knows the process, I can assure you our numbers will get better. And I would say, yeah, I would say so. I can't give a number in terms of percentage, like how much better it would be, but yeah, I mean, it's funny, right? And I can't think of an example like for other jobs, but like the sales process, right? You do it on a daily, almost a daily basis on the job. Yet you can't name the 8 steps for that process. And so, I mean, if you've been with the company for years, you probably have hundreds of rentals under your belt. Meaning you should have repeated those 8 steps hundreds and hundreds of times. So if you can't repeat those 8 steps, then yeah, there's like a disconnect there, right? And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, if you have hundreds and hundreds of rentals, I mean, you know the outline of what to do, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't have those hundreds and hundreds of rentals, right? But some of the numbers could be better if you were following them more to a T, because there's certain sayings, certain phrases that are used that when doing the rental makes you remember, think of the other things you should be doing. Like for me, it's selling insurance and then selling merchandise. If you were to follow the steps, actually, you would know that. Granted, you don't want to lose the rental or the insurance. That's something we've always been taught, but it's something that you want to hit every single time versus just not omitting it or just not like having that little conversation back and forth about it. And then the merchandise, I can't tell you how many times I've done rentals and just thought like, oh, let me sell the customer something else besides just the lock. Because lock's always, I mean, that lock is always something everyone tries to hit. But we're in a room full of other merchandise that, for whatever reason, that none of those items just come in mind when we're doing the rental. And I admit I do it very often. It just, I don't know, like when you're just going through the motions, and that's the thing, going through the motions. If you don't go through, if that part of like selling other merchandise isn't going through the motions, then you're gonna obviously miss out on it. And yeah, like there's only a very few times. I think it's more often than not if I'm working with a coworker, for whatever reason, it's like, oh, hey, buddy, Adonis, you want to make sure you ask about these other merchandise we're selling, right? Versus just omitting it throughout the whole process. It's funny. It's like, yeah, there are times where like, oh, like I'm with a coworker. I want to do everything correctly. Like it's like psychologically, like back in my mind, like I catch myself like, oh, hey, buddy, make sure you do this and this and this because usually you don't do this and this and this. And it's just like when you catch yourself doing that, it's like, oh, yeah, yeah. But then like everything else afterwards, later on, you just don't do, and it's like, why? Because like it is funny because I've done it. I've done it multiple times before, and just you know, the all the years I've been doing this, it's just like, why am I not consistent? Well, because I don't consistently do this. In terms of the other little extra things that should be done. And it's not like I sway too far off the whole process. But there's obviously some things that at times could be not fully discussed or just you know walked past by. Like I don't spend enough time on it than I should have. It was an interesting conversation I was having with my two other coworkers, and it was just like, huh, yeah, no, I mean, I appreciate the information, and you're right. Like, there are things that I could do better that would help the store out, just like everyone else, right? But yeah, no, it was an interesting conversation. So I'm sure that discussion, plus whatever other discussions they'll have with my other coworkers at other stores, probably be accumulated together and then brought up for a future probably district meeting. So or email sent out to everyone. So, but yeah, that'll be it for today. Oh well, if anyone has any similar experiences at work or just other parts of the life, do comment down below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. But yeah, besides that, that'll be it for today. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Take care. See ya.